Hi everybody. Welcome to Quarter Inch Seam. It's me, Angela. You're in my sewing room. Okay. What are we gonna do today? Butterfly? No. Sampler quilt block? No. I need 2 new placemats, so that's what we're gonna do today, because that's what I feel like sewing. And my table, the wheels are not locked. One of the wheels is not locked, and so it is moving. Okay, who cares? I was straightening up, tidying up my sewing room. No, I don't usually do that. I don't usually do it in my office either. I mean, I try to, but then I remember there's something I'm supposed to be doing, and then I go do that, and I forget to finish the tidying up. So I end up stepping over piles, and it's just so unlike me. And yet, there it is. Okay, so I tried to get a little bit of order going in here because I couldn't find anything. Everything just keeps getting piled on top. Okay, so the other day I was in here and I was trying to find a pencil, desperately trying to find a pencil, because the one that I had in here, why I didn't just get up and go and sharpen this pencil, but there's nothing left. It's just down to the, all I'm using is the wood, okay? So I went into my office and I brought back a pencil. Now they have had babies. And you watch, I won't be able to find one in my office to save my life. Okay. All right, put some threads back in there. I don't know why they're even out. I don't know why you're out. I am going to, I have a huge roll of black thread and 2 huge rolls of black thread and not one of white. How is that possible? I mean, honestly, are you really even a quilter? Revoke your sewing machine. These don't go in here, Angela. Don't put them in here. But the screwdriver, well, we'll put the screwdriver right there. And the pokey turnaround thing. Those are needles. That. Okay. Hey. Look. This is just what I'm doing right now. That's not bad. Not bad at all. It is a, it's lovely today. It's lovely if you're looking out to today. There's a breeze, some big fluffy clouds, blue skies, lots of clouds though. And they're moving, but when you go outside, it's about 140. It's hot. And then it rains. It's very, if you think about hurricane-ish type weather, it's very hurricane-ish type weather. I mean, we're not having a hurricane, but you get this weird like heat pressure kind of building up. And I wish I could just go lounge around the rest of the day in the pool, but I can't because I gotta make these placemats. Okay, so why am I doing placemats? Because I wanted to, I saw this woman on somewhere on the internet. I was surfing around a few days ago, and she used this stitch on her machine that she uses it for like quilting on her sewing machine. And I wanted to try it, and well, by golly, I think I found it. Does it tell me the name? It's it does this. Very subtle kind of a wave. And I thought that would be a pretty quilting. She uses it for quilting when she doesn't want to put a quilt onto her long arm. Or she just has something simple that she wants to do. And so I thought, you know what, my placemats are starting to look a little ratty. So I thought I would make 2 new placemats and get that on there while we chat today. And then later on, I'll probably come back in this evening. We have to go out and run some errands. We're gonna get out of this house for a little bit. We're gonna get out of the household air conditioning, go get into the car air conditioning. And okay, so what do I have? I have 2. I'm fighting with this a little bit today. Okay, so I have 2 fat quarters. And here's the other thing. I didn't really know what else I would use this for, and so I thought, well, I'll make some placemats. And now you can kind of see me both. I gotta deal with that light. I get so much stuff to deal with. So much stuff that's got to be dealt with. Okay. Wow, look at that. All tidied up. Okay. So, now, when I make my placemats, I like placemats. I like placemats for 2 reasons. The first reason I like them is, I think in this age where now listen, I grew up on 2, and I would probably use more of them, but it's just the 2 of us, so, paper plates, right? Because, okay, how did I want to do this? I think I wanted to do it this way. Hold on, hang on. Yeah, that's good. These are going to be smaller than my normal ones. So typically for my placemats, the measurement is 14 by 19. These are going to be substantially smaller. This is going to be like, it doesn't matter. It's going to be a small placemat. So typically it's 14 by 19. That's your cut. These are going to be smaller because I'm just using 2 half quarters. 2 fat quarters. 2 fat quarters. What's the gummy bears? And watch. Steve will say, candy. I try not to eat a lot of candy, but every once in a while, like today, you know, after lunch, I needed a little. Right? That's what I needed. So, and gummy bears happen to be what I had in the drawer. Okay. But this one is going to, let me get this squared up. Because that's always where I throw myself off, is and I don't want to make just 1. I want to make 2. And the other reason I'm making this, so I want to try that little squiggly line thing she used, that pattern. I want to see how I like it. Number 2, but you know what? It's probably not going to work. Well, maybe. Let me see. Although I shouldn't do it now. We'll see. We'll see if we get to the quilting part. If not, we'll get to the quilting part on tomorrow's video. Because I gotta lower the feed dogs, and we haven't even started the placemat. So I mean, how much can you really expect that we're gonna get accomplished? Okay. 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 We really need this one. I don't know why I'm not just cutting these in half right now, but you know, I'm not really in a hurry. Like, this is not like a placemat tutorial where I'm trying to get the whole project done. Let's be honest. I probably shouldn't have sharp objects in my hand right now. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? While we're talking, I'll tell you, if you like, I'll tell you a story. And the reason I'm going to tell you this story is because I just looked outside and I thought I saw one, and it's not, but it made me think of it. So, the year that yes, it needs a new blade. Do you really want to sit here and watch me change a blade? Probably not. Okay, the year that we moved here, and some of you know that Steve is a native Floridian. This is where he grew up. Grew up in Florida, spent a few years up in Alabama when he was a kid. But most of his life, for all intents and purposes, a Florida boy. So, then when he was in his late 20s, he moved to California. Blah, 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 blah. Then we moved back 5 years ago. All the blah, blah, blah was the middle stuff. That's not relevant to this story. So, did I not cut that one? So, the year that we moved into this house, 2021, I think it was. Yeah, 2021. My daughter-in-law and son-in-law, who also lived in California, and when they lived in California, okay, what in the world is going on here? Okay, we're gonna go with it. I don't know why I'm trying to square these up so perfectly. I have no idea. I just wanted to get them a little bit more even, and that one's just being a real pain in the patootie. Okay, so the year that we moved here, well, my daughter-in-law and my son-in-law, Steve's daughter and her husband, and their 3 daughters lived 5 minutes from where we lived in California. They literally lived barely on the other side of town. So when we moved here, they were, especially my daughter-in-law. I mean, and my son-in-law and the girls, but especially my daughter-in-law, because, you know, it was her dad. And we got along well, and, you know, we did, we went through, you're not supposed to say it, but remember when we all got sick? Then we went through that together, that whole time period, right? So we had some game nights at each other's homes, and, you know, we'd go to dinner there, or they'd come over to dinner at our house. Because as you can recall, there wasn't a whole lot to do. So it was a good way for us to stay connected, and it was kind of handy because, you know, you got a little bit of variety in dinners, and we got to see each other, and it was fun. Okay, anyway. When we moved, they were really shook. So they came out to visit a few months after we moved and brought the girls, and we did an early Thanksgiving that year. So we had Thanksgiving, and they decided to go and look at some homes because they decided that they wanted to move as well. They wanted to come out here, and they liked the area and blah, 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 middle stuff. So that's what they did. Well, that's kind of hokey there, isn't it? Oh, well, it doesn't matter. So they looked at homes. They found a home. No, they looked at homes. They went back to California. Then they looked at homes online, found a house that they liked. We went and took a look at it. They bought it. They started packing. Literally in the span of between Thanksgiving and Christmas. By January, by the first couple of weeks in January, they were on a truck. They loaded their stuff onto a truck. They were on their way to Florida. Bada bing, bada boom. When they got here, they couldn't immediately move into their house. There was some work that had to be done on it, so they came and stayed with us, with the 3 girls. Which was crazy. It was crazy. It was crazy for a lot of reasons, because Steve and I work from home, so, and when they got here, like, the girls weren't in school or anything. Everybody was just, it was just crazy. Fun. Lots of laughs. More dinners together. Crazy. Anyway. Then, it's about 21. Let's just go. Let's just go 10 and a half. And I gotta turn it again. So I can't see the marks. Okay, so one day, Steve and I had gone out to get, I don't know, we'd gone out for something. Gone to the store or gone to get a tea or an iced tea or a soda or something, I don't know. When we came back, this is why it's important to know that Steve hasn't lived in Florida in a while. When we came back, we pulled into our driveway and looked over at the kind of the side yard, and there was a huge turtle walking across our grass. And now, please, don't come for me and hold your keyboard comments just until I finish this next part of the story, because I'll probably answer your question. We didn't know what to do with this turtle, and they didn't want to put him in the road, and I didn't realize that gopher turtles, which is what they're called, they dig like a rabbit hole almost, but it's a turtle hole, right? And so they dig this mound, and then they dig down, and it goes on forever, like mile. It's not really a mile, but it's a long ways. And they build themselves a little home under the ground. And they come up during the day, in the summertime, in the spring and in the summertime when it's really warm, when the sun is high. They come out and they eat, they walk around. They usually stay about 150 feet, I think, from their little home. And they come out and they eat, and they obviously, because they're cold-blooded, yeah, they, absorb all that heat, that nice sun, and then they go back into their hole. Anyway, we didn't realize this at first, and we didn't know what to do with her. And so we at first put her in a Tupperware, like a big Tupperware, one of those big containers. We put her in that with some, in like an inch or two of water. Don't do that. They're not water turtles. I found that out later when we Googled it. But anyway, long story short, we discovered that she had her home in the property, the lot that's right next door to ours. And so we did some research, blah, 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 middle stuff. She lived next door, and every day, just about, when I would take Minnie out for her walk, and when Steve would take her out for a little ride in the afternoon, they would go next door and visit. We used to call her Mama Turtle. We loved that turtle. You don't want to know. You don't want to know. She got hurt. Like 2 years later in the road by somebody who wasn't paying attention. Because sometimes they get, I think they get out a little bit over their skis and they'll walk a little bit farther than normal, and so they end up in the road very frequently. Or in like a gutter, like they'll get too close to a curb and then they just kind of go, they keep going, trying to get like to the other side or trying to get like back to their home or whatever. And because they don't typically stray that far. It's not like they're gonna go, it's not like they're wanderers. They tend to stay kind of in their little vicinity, come out and eat, go a little ways, come back. But then sometimes they don't. So there's a big problem in Florida, especially where you've got a lot of them, where they get hit. And a lot of times it's on accident. And sometimes I don't think it's on accident. Sometimes I think that people are just cruel or whatever it is. But anyway, gosh, Angela, way to bring the room down. You're welcome. And I don't have any Kleenex in here. I haven't sewed one of these in a bit, so I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing. Okay, so I got my pieces on. Okay, so I just cut the pieces out, 2 pieces. These ended up being, this is going to be a small one. These ended up being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 by 18. It's a weird size placemat, but alas, here we are. So now we're just going to sew around 4 sides, but we're going to leave a gap so we can reach our hand in and turn it. For all of you that have never made a placemat. Okay. Oh, I don't want this stitch yet. Do I? No, I don't. So she got hurt. We tried to save her. The day that she got hurt, we had gone out, and when we had gone out, she was eating next door. She was just walking around eating, and then when we came home, we found her in the road. We found her actually just off to the side of the road. And if you are in Florida or in areas that have these turtles, there are all kinds of conservation groups, and a lot of times they have arrangements or agreements with local veterinarians. I don't know if it's through like the state or how that's arranged, but there was an arrangement that was set up. So we went online and found a turtle organization, and they had an arrangement with a very, very local vet right here in our county, in our city actually. And we took her in there. They took her right away because they're also an emergency vet, so it was fantastic. They took her right away. And then you can fill out a form that if you want them to relocate the turtle back to where you are, to where their home is, you can tell them that, and if not, then they'll find it a new home. They rehabilitate it and find it a new home. Mama turtle, we found out the next day she didn't make it. Her injuries were really, really bad, and yeah, it was really sad. Minnie still looks for her sometimes. was really, it was a real tearjerker. We missed that turtle. I tell you what, they're all over our area in Florida. But it makes me mad. The day that we found her, the day that she had gotten hit, we didn't know what to do. So we put her in a box. Sans water. No water. Because we had learned by then. So we put her in a big Tupperware. And I didn't know what to do. This is probably the Italian in me. You know, if you're Italian and you are sick or you don't feel good or you're hurt, the first thing that your family does is bring you food. Pasta will make you feel better. Or your grandma's soup, or any number of eggplant parmesan, or chicken cutlets, or lasagna, spaghetti. It will probably make you feel better. So I thought, well, maybe she likes some water. You know, this has been very traumatic. Maybe her mouth is dry, so we tried to give her some water. Then we Googled what do they eat outside of weeds, and they said they will eat like blueberries. They love blueberries and a couple other, lettuce. So I was just in such a state because I felt so bad for this turtle. I just felt really bad. She had become like a quasi member of our family. She really had. People. And so while we were trying to figure out where to take her or what to do with her, I tried feeding her romaine and blueberries, but she wasn't having none of it. She just wasn't. She was very, very hurt, and she didn't want to eat blueberries. What are you gonna do? Okay, first one's done. So, and my battery is getting really low. Okay, so I'm gonna flip this around, show you what it looks like, and then the primary reason that I wanted to do this was not to try that squiggly line stitch. It was because I need a couple of new placemats on my table, and I thought, this is gonna be pretty. I thought that these were just really pretty colors, and since I only have these 2 fat quarters, it really wasn't enough to do much else that I was interested in doing. So I thought that this would be a good use of them. 2 birds, 1 stone. So that's the story of Mama Turtle. Miss that turtle. She was just really, she was just funny to watch. She was so particular about where she went and blah, blah, blah. And Minnie was just obsessed with her. Every time we would see her out, Minnie just wanted to sniff her, and Minnie was just, she can't figure them out. They move so slow. But when if Minnie sniffs them, Mama Turtle used to turn around. When Mama Turtle would get annoyed, she would turn around and kind of hiss at Minnie. Okay, if you've never made a placemat before, get ready for it. This is your ta-da! Super simple. It's a super simple way to put something pretty on your table. They're 2-sided. Now I'm just going to stitch around the edge, right? So we're going to fold this part in here, that opening where we had to flip it. Lots of you that are watching that are regulars are going to be super proud of me that I actually left the hole big enough to get my mitts in there. Okay, now put the foot down. What I do is I move my needle over real close to the edge so I get a nice tiny little line over there. You could also do binding on these. I've done them with binding. I mean, you should sew this up first, I think. Sorry about that, my battery died. Okay. Now, lift her up. And, okay, come on. There we go. I don't even remember exactly what I was talking about. I'm hoping that when we go outside, it will have cooled off a little bit. Because it was a doozy today. Tell you what. What? Oh. I wonder I couldn't see where I was going. Because I don't have my glasses on. Whoops. Come on. Okay. Last side. See, I mean, how can you beat this? A few minutes? You got something pretty for your table? My line was a little off there. Okay, so now the question is, let's just see. Let me just see here. I think I have to take this table off. I think I have to take this off. I hope I don't bump you. Ooh. Excuse me, pardon me. Okay. I just had, do you guys remember I just had that free motion foot ta-da! Let's just see. Let's just see. Ouch. Ow! Okay, so that's on. That's interesting. Okay, let's see if we can do this. Sorry I was so quiet there. I was trying to think to myself what exactly it was I was doing. Okay, so I got my free motion foot on there. And now, let's just take this little piece of fabric that we have here, and let's see. Okay. Ain't nothing to do but to do it. Lower the... Well, obviously. Okay. Oh, I forgot there was a little bump there. Okay. Ready, girls? Let's go. I haven't converted this machine over to do anything like quilting or anything like that in a long time. It's been a bit. Because I forgot. Last time I did a quilt, I forgot. Actually, last time I actually quilted it, I forgot. Anyway. Okay. Now I gotta go back over here and find, yes. Now you gotta go back over here to find that stitch. Got it. Okay, let's see. Let's see if we can do this. Put the foot down. Okay, here we go. I probably didn't necessarily need this foot just to do this. But it helps. It's very cute. Okay, 2 minutes and I'll show you. So that's the story of Mama Turtle. And we kept hoping that some other Mama Turtle, we put little signs out, you know, condo for rent, Airbnb, turtles only. No other turtles showed up, because a lot of times another turtle will come and, you know, take up residence, buy the joint. But nobody did. And then a bunch of turtles recently they relocated a bunch of them to areas that weren't going to be around so much traffic, and in large part because they're doing a lot of building right now around here. And so they moved them, relocated them. The only thing I'll say about using this stitch, and this is probably just practice, is it's adorable. It's very cute. It's very whimsical. It's a great quilting thing because you can, it's, you know, it's nicer than, it gives it a little pizzazz as opposed to just using like a straight line. The only thing you have to remember is that whenever you're, however much you manipulate the fabric, like however much you move the fabric is how much is going to change the stitch. So, you know, your waves are going to get closer together or further apart, so you got to kind of... Steve's going to say when I put this down, I'm just kind of playing right now. When I put this down, it is, what happened to the quickly lines? In fact, that's an interesting question. Like when you're using a stitch like this, how do you keep it... I guess you just have to practice a bit with your, not just, you know, the tension in your hands, but and actually now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think this was the one that she used. I'll have to go back and find that video, but you want to keep the for the most part, you want to keep the stitch the same. So I guess you just have to start kind of regulating how fast you move your hands. So, how was your week? It was a short week. I needed it. I'm ready for another weekend. Although the weekends are just about as exhausting as during the week. We finally got the trellis thing figured out for our jasmine and the bougainvillea we have out front. So this weekend we are finishing that. It's a little haphazard, but I wanted to see what it would do. Actually, it's a lot haphazard. Anyway, you got anything fun going on for the weekend? Okay, I think it came out cute. It's an odd size placemat. It's a little bit long. Well, I guess. Actually, not quite as long as mine, but it's substantially, you know, squatter. But see how you can see how interesting, how quirky. But I like that stitch. I think with some practice, that would be good. I gotta figure out. I gotta go back and find the name of the stitch, or see if she just elongated that stitch, because I don't know. Yeah, that just jogged my memory. Serpentine stitch. So she used the one called serpentine stitch. But I don't know if that's what I was using over here. So serpentine stitch is what it's called there. Let's just see what I was using over here. It doesn't have a name for it, but it sure looks like the same thing. So I think if you played with that, you could, it would be great for quilting when you didn't necessarily want to go a specific pattern. You know, you wanted it to be just a little more free motion. Anyway, that's a pretty placemat, right? That will be perky when I come out for my coffee in the morning. Okay, guys. That's really all I wanted to do today. I just wanted to come in here, tidy up a little bit, and play. That's really what I wanted to do. I wanted to come and play, and now I've played, and this doesn't go in here, Angela. And so now I'm going to go and make dinner for these folks, and what else? Take a little drive, enjoy a Friday night, and we'll be back tomorrow. So this is the springtime placemat, summertime placemat. I think we're well past spring. Summertime placemat. Go get 2 pieces of fabric and make you a placemat for your table tonight. You can zhuzh your table up a little bit, you know, right? Even if you're eating off paper plates, that was the point I was making earlier. Is, you know, everybody does the paper plate thing so we can eat fast and not have to do the dishwasher or wash dishes and be done with it. But you can still put it on a nice placemat. That's all I'm saying. Okay. I love you guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Share the channel. If you get a little laugh out of it, if you get a great big belly laugh out of me, that's all fine and good. I just hope you come here and have a good time sitting with me in my sewing room. I'm so glad that you came by because it always brightens my day. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. There's some links in the description to like my Arrow sewing chair that you can check out and some of the patterns and things that we're working on. And the only other thing I think that I have to say is have a fantastic evening. I'll see you tomorrow. And remember, only a 1/4 inch seam. Only a 1/4 inch. Love you guys. Bye.